We don't really know how life started on Earth. We don't exactly know what the chemical environment of Earth was like before life started. So with Titan, we have this really unique opportunity. There's a rich organic chemistry going on in the atmosphere. We know that's depositing to the surface. If there were times where those organics and the liquid water environments were mixing, then there may be some really interesting chemistry taking place.
Europa is one of the largest moons of Jupiter, and we believe that Europa has a subsurface ocean tens to hundreds of kilometers thick. And so this ocean may be one of the best places to search for life in the solar system.
There's been 3 space missions that have provided evidence for Europa harboring liquid water. The first one is Voyager in the late 70s. The second one is the Galileo mission in the late 90s. And most recently, Hubbell, which detected plume-like emission from hydrogen and oxygen, which is closely related to the existence of water beneath its surface.
We directly determined that there are indeed plumes jetting out of the south polar region from cracks in the south pole of Enceladus in the crust. And it's dominantly water-rich material, just jetting out into space. And so the way we saw it, it was by luck. Cassini happened to be located where Enceladus was backlit from the sun. And so you saw this curtain of beautiful diffuse material jetting out of the south polar region.
Well, hello everybody. Scott Roberts here with Explore Scientific and the Explore Alliance live presentation of the OpenGOTO community. And our special guest is Suhel from the Astronomy Club of Kosova, or Kosovo, okay, as we might say it here in the United States, but it's Kosova, how it's really pronounced. So we should, I think we should respect that. So, but we wanted to get, Suhel was on Skype with me earlier today and started to give me a lot of updates about what's going on with their club over there. And so I said, why don't you come on to the show and tell the world about it? So I'm going to give you the stage.
Hello, Scott. Hello, Jerry. Hello, Tyler. Hello, everybody. I'm very honored to be here with you guys. I feel very, very special all the way here from Kosovo. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk with the audience about what's going here in Kosovo. Yes, it's very true, Scott. You've been one of our biggest supporters here in Kosovo.
Oh, thank you.
And your community, you're really helping Kosovo develop science and astronomy because, as you might know, there's a lot of flags here in Kosovo. So we're trying to publicize astronomy and spread the knowledge of astronomy to all the people living here. So I'm from Kosovo. I was born here in Pristina, the capital, and I'm a young astronomer that loves astronomy, and I have different hobbies. Since elementary school, I've been involved in the volunteer work and activism, and which helped me to develop both individually and professionally. So that's very important because we need to make a huge change and impact here in our community.
Wonderful. So, Suhel, what's the latest things going on with the club?
Yes, if I can share the screen, Scott, if that's okay.
Yeah,
please. Yeah. Where is the button?
It's kind of along the bottom there. It's a big green button. There you go.
Okay, you see?
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a second.
Very nice.
Okay. That's the wrong presentation. So this is our. So you're seeing, right?
Yes.
So this is our club's logo. And we are also a national coordinator of Astronomers Without Borders, so One People, One Sky. When I became a coordinator, there was Mike Simon. Right now, there's another president. And the reason why I put this logo down here is because the news that I wanted to share with the audience is that now we're finally making a huge impact here in the community. We're not just to the audience, but also to local and central institutions. We're telling them that you need to invest more in astronomy. So we recently won a grant from the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Culture.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much. That has been a really huge step forward. And what we're trying to do here, because of course you need funds to have different activities. So we're going to schools, having to different municipalities. As you might know, in Kosovo there are also other astronomy groups, and we're also helping them develop. And we need all the support we can get in order to thrive. And we always have this saying: the journey of 1,000 light years begins with a single step. So we're gonna start small and probably get big. If others don't know me, I'm also, this is like a small biography. So I'm also the president right now of the Astronomy Club of Kosovo. So the group initially came together as the only lovers of astronomy. We were founded in 2014. So we started with one small telescope, Scott. And, and then when different astronomers around the world, they were seeing our work that we're doing here, so they wanted to support us work with equipments, because we have a lot of lacks in equipments here in Kosovo. And so we started with one telescope, then people were donating. So everything what we're doing is in a voluntary basis. We're not getting paid for what we're doing because we love this and we want to share the beauty of astronomy to all the people living here. And then we became the national coordinator. And so we won four One Sky telescopes. So the Astronomers Without Borders community launched a crowdfunding campaign. But within a few hours, we got the money that we needed. And so we got the four One Sky telescopes. They're 132 millimeters. They're reflecting telescopes. So we had, for the first time, we were bringing them in Kosovo, and that made really a huge impact. And I think Jean-Pierre from the project Stars Shine for Everyone, I think he was your guest speaker also. So when he was seeing what we were doing here in Kosovo, he also donated us 2 telescopes. They have this really wooden, interesting mount. I think you are aware with that.
Yes.
Very interesting mount. So we were using that in our activities. And then we became the official affiliate of the solar activities, the NASA Solar System Ambassador, which helped us bring solar glasses in Kosovo. Because can you imagine, we're doing these activities, but we didn't have enough equipment we needed. So we were having these solar glasses, and it was very amazing to see the people's face when they were looking through solar glasses.
Oh, that's great. That's great. A question, Suhel. You mentioned that you started with just one small telescope. The audience wants to know which small telescope did you start with?
Yes, it was a very small telescope. It was, I think, 60 millimeters.
60,
yeah,
like
60
a refractor. Yeah.
Refractor, and it was a gift from Mr. Sabit Goshi. He's also a meteorologist. I think I have a picture. Just a moment.
Okay.
Just a second. So this was the telescope.
Oh wow! Look at that. Yeah. That was a bigger telescope than what I had when I first started. So
I felt very special because the
yeah,
way
that's good.
because Like one evening, I see this person. He had the Galileo telescope from the in balcony. He was observing the moon. So I always was wondering when will the day come that I will have my own telescope and observe the stars. So I was watching so many documentaries, reading books, and I was always wondering why these other countries have like astronomy in their schools. They have astronomy clubs, but Kosovo is nowhere. Like we should have an astronomy club, and that was very sad. And this is why we started with other colleagues to found the astronomy club of Kosovo, so we can go to different places. People that love astronomy, they can have like a place where they can join, they can share their experience with each other, and so we wanted to be those people. And as you might know, I think we were also the local coordinator of the World Space Week. It's celebrated every October.
Yes.
And one project that I should stop is the Under One Sky initiative. So I will talk later a little bit about this. Is a project from the United Nations mission in Kosovo. As you know, we had like a conflict in the 1990s with Yugoslavia, and there's a lot of Serbian community living here in Kosovo. So what we were doing, we wanted to break all inter-ethnic barriers through astronomy. So we wanted to share the wonders of the universe through astronomy. So we were going to this is mostly Serbian, and we wanted to tell our people that we can break all inter-ethnic barriers through astronomy.
Yes,
so that was very important.
That's very important.
And recently, I was appointed as one of the young European ambassadors. So that's very important because now Kosovo youth has a voice that we can represent the young people in the European Union. I talked with you earlier, Scott, that Kosovo has one of the youngest population in Europe, and we still don't have visa liberalization. We have a lot of young people, a lot of ambitious people that want to explore, and we are very isolated for the moment, but our hope is not done yet. We still want to achieve great things.
Yes.
So this is some of the members. So first we started the astronomy club with Pranvera and Dardan. You might know Pranvera.
Yes.
She was one of the founders of the astronomy club. Then later she became I think she became the Charlie Bay Solar Astronomy Project representative. And then she had the astronomy outreach of Kosovo. After 2015, fortunately in Kosovo, there were more non-formal groups forming, like there was the Sirius Astro Group, and there's recently Nebula Astronomy Club in the city of Kačanik. So we wanted to include as many people as possible because we live in Pristina, but we wanted also like other cities to include. So we were helping them form their own groups.
Right. Fantastic.
Yeah. So as I already, so these are the 4 telescopes that we got, and we got so many. I'm telling you, all the equipment that we get is a donation, so we can use them in Kosovo because we have a lot of flags and equipment, and we want to use all this equipment in the good of community. So this is a short video. So here we were observing the sun for the International Sun Day. So this is the square in Pristina.
Yeah.
We have 2 solar telescopes.
Oh yeah.
So this is Albanian traditional hat. It's very interesting because older people, they wear this white hat. It's like 4,000 years old, I believe.
Oh wow.
So there were people coming by. It's like mostly like sidewalk astronomy.
Yeah.
Observing. We had this. We had a discount on this solar telescope by the Mead Instruments, and for the first time in Kosovo, we were having solar telescope, so people can observe and see the telescope through hydrogen alpha. Because we had filters, but it was more interesting if you could see in another wavelength through hydrogen alpha telescopes.
Oh yes, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. What is the general reaction of the older generation to your younger generation leading? You guys are leading the way with making science accessible to the public. So, are there obstacles that you run into with the older generation at all, or are they very helpful, or what is the relationship?
Yes, the astronomy is popular mostly in the younger generation. Unfortunately, most of our schools they have some telescopes, but they don't know how to use them. So we're trying to go and teach the teachers how to practically use the telescope, because they have like equipment, because they don't know how to use them, and most of them they don't believe what they see. If they always make fun, they say you put a picture, or they mistake it for a camera.
Oh wow!
And this is because they haven't seen one before, and the younger generation is probably more educated and informed, and they know what it is. But still, when they see, it's very unbelievable. Their reaction is priceless because they don't believe what they're seeing, and this is what we want in their face.
That's awesome. That's good.
And yes, so we want to include. So we have this expression like astronomy is for everyone. Doesn't matter if you're young, if you're a police officer. Right now, like anybody can do astronomy. This picture, what you're seeing, we won the 3rd place in the NASA Space Apps Challenge. So this was all around the world, and Kosovo won the 3rd place.
Wow!
And this was our team. And we designed this app that children could have more information in Kosovo about the moon, the solar system, etc. And this was Astrofest, the first astronomy festival. And this is Yahya Kokay, the professor. He's a very famous Albanian professor. And this is one of my favorite pictures because as I told you, we go to school. So this is the Pristina High School, and oh my God, it's very difficult, Scott, to work with children. You can drain your energy so fast.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm always impressed how much they know about the space and the universe in general, and making different questions like black holes and all of this that you don't expect from them.
Right.
So these are the future of Kosovo. As Carl Sagan said, we should invest more in the younger generation because they are our future. And this is what we want to do. We want to invest in younger generation. So Kosovo in the near future maybe can have, why not an astronaut going to space or visiting Mars, or anything can be possible.
Yes. That's fantastic. Now, Suhel, how large is the astronomy club? How many members now?
Yeah. So we are like 10 or 15 staff members that we're working in events that are helping us from the inside. But right now we have probably 1,000 members.
1,000 members.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a very large club. That's great.
That we have representatives from every municipality here in Kosovo. And as we counted, there's like 1,000, probably more. The last time I checked, we have 1,000 members that are there, like our ambassadors who are representing. And it's very huge. So next year, it's very interesting because when we were founded, it was such a coincidence because we were founded in 2014. And in 2015, when we celebrated our anniversary, it was also the solar eclipse, the partial solar eclipse.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that was huge because nobody ever watched the solar eclipse in Kosovo. So,
never. Wow.
No, like they were having this, I don't know how it's called in English, but there's like this dark filters that usually workers, I think they use that.
Oh yeah, for welding, for doing welding work. Yes.
But like they never saw it through a telescope. So at that time, we didn't have solar telescopes. We had solar glasses, but the way we were observing the sun, it was through a projecting method. I think.
Got it.
Yeah. So we had a really big, huge people who came to see this because it was a very huge event.
Right.
This baby is very cute. What I want to say.
Yes.
All this when they are very interested to know what is going on, so they always come. As I said, astronomy doesn't matter if you're a police officer or whatever. It's anybody can do astronomy. So this is the Under One Sky initiative. This is the project I told you about that we were going to every municipality where we had other communities, and because Albanians and Serbians, they had not a very good past, and our young people, we want to break all interethnic barriers through astronomy. So this was an astronomy camp in Rogova Mountains. It's far away from light pollution, and it was interesting.
So Hal, I think that this breaking down the ethnic barriers is one of the most important aspects of astronomy outreach education, because for one thing, if you can get across the sizes of celestial objects in relation to the size of the Earth and our place in the universe, many people become humble after they realize how very small we are, and on this very small planet, going around this very average star, that's one of billions and billions of stars, So that is a very, very important tool towards, I think, building a more harmonious worldwide, civilization, and to remind people that we really need each other, and we are in a very fragile living situation, and so all of the questions of how we share this world and its resources become, the problems of it and the importance of it become so magnified into relation to our own personal needs, so we all enjoy different cultures. We all enjoy the adventure of traveling to distant lands and meeting new people and hearing different accents or different languages, but I do believe that through astronomy education outreach that it is a very effective thing that almost anybody can do, and I'm so happy you guys are doing it in your country.
Thank you very much, because once we see the stars, the planets, they see that we can, because astronomy is not just a science field, it's also a culture.
Yes.
Because we're also promoting culture, we're promoting other things, and that's very important. And,
Yes.
And Scott, what I wanted to say about this picture is that we had different officials coming from the ministry. So the telescope, this is the biggest telescope we have for the moment. It's the Bresser 152 millimeters. I think
Good.
the focal length is around 1 meter and 20 centimeters, if I'm not wrong. And we are observing the sun through the solar filter, and it's the Suncaster. It's from Explore Scientific, which are very happy with the quality. We love it. We've been using it in every event, and people seeing sunspots. And very exciting because now recently we saw finally there's a sunspot in the sun's surface, so people can come and see.
Yes. The sun has been so quiet for such a long time. To see any new detail is pretty exciting.
Yes, and we're doing daily during daytime because we're going to schools, and schools are working during daytime, so we do more solar astronomy, but we also do astronomy camps and other activities. And we wanted to tell these officials from the institutions that you see how important is astronomy, and trust me, they were also their first time to observe through a telescope.
Wonderful.
And this is, so what you're seeing here, this is the observatory of Pristina. I know nobody walks probably every day and they have no idea what this is. So this observatory was functional in the 80s, and since then it was never used again, and it's like a museum inside. It's been sitting there, so we've been it took us a very long time to finally get into our possession. We had to go through so many barriers, so we're renovating it, and the ministry, the mayor, the municipality of Pristina, the Department of Education is renovating the observatory, so people and students can come and observe. This is one of the medias that came. So this is the observatory. This is how old it looks. It was very old, and it was not using for anything.
Wow. There are many observatories in the world like this, unfortunately.
Yes.
And it is important that that we find ways to make them useful again, because telescopes really don't wear out. Not really. The electronics do, but the optics and the mechanics, these things can be refurbished and improved. Is there any telescope inside the dome?
So there is a telescope. It's not. It's been sitting there. We cannot use it, but we want to leave it like an exposition because it's from USSR. It's very old.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this one.
Oh, wow, look at this. Wow.
It's very old, and unfortunately, it's not being used. But we gave this design how we think that the observatory should look, because the origin of the dome is from Illinois, the Ash Dome. We've been in contact with the director, and they've been supporting us with switches and other equipment so we can put the observatory back to use. So this is how we're thinking that the observatory should look like. We haven't decided on the telescope, but this we think is going to be renovated like this, and the municipality is going to help us do this.
Fantastic.
And this is a really big project. This is the Scientific Center of Kosovo. So there's this Astronomy Commission, part of the Ministry of Education. And what we're doing, we're different experts and professionals from Kosovo. We've been working on this strategy, how the next Scientific Center of Kosovo should look like. So this is not just astronomy, it's also chemistry, biology, physics. And this is still a project in the paper. The government last year or before that, they supported us with a grant. We don't have the funds for the moment, but also we need other donations, and we're thinking of other locations that we can build this scientific center, because it's a very big project, but we should start from somewhere. So and soon Kosovo, like every other country, we should have like an observatory that's far away from city light, because the observatory that we have for the moment, it's in the center, it's accessible from the people, but it's light pollution. But we want to do astronomy outreach because we want to have it as a meeting point, because a lot of people are asking us, do you have an office? Where can we meet you? So we want to do the observatory of Pristina as a meeting point, because you can observe the moon, the planets, and then in the near future we can build this scientific center. And I said this because, as you see, the soldiers, it doesn't matter if you're an official or you're having traditional clothes or old or young, astronomy is for everyone. And this is what we're trying to promote to people. So,
well, that's the truth of it. So
I don't know, guys, if you have any questions for me until now.
I think that everybody's very excited about what you're doing over there. They're impressed with your membership, and they find this very inspiring, Suhel. Where, I know that your club is, is always on the lookout for donations and, both maybe in astronomy equipment and in cash donations. Where can our viewers go to help you?
We opened the GoFund campaign, but we're not using that for the moment. But those people who want to donate, we have this PayPal account. It's in suhel.ahmeti@gmail.com. It's in my name for the moment because PayPal is not available in Kosovo, but we're still able to get the funds through other friends who are living in Kosovo that are coming from United States.
I see.
So right now we have that, and they can contact personally me or through the Astronomy Club of Kosovo, those people who have telescopes or they have equipment that want to donate to our club, so we can use them in our activity. And because right now, for example, we don't have any planetary camera, and this is what we're trying to do.
Okay, so why don't you give to me in chat your email address, Suhel, and I will post it in this. Here we go. There we are. All right, and Suhel can help you. If you are so inclined, if you have an old telescope that you're not using, or maybe you've traded up to a new astro camera or something like that, they are looking for camera gear. They want to do more astrophotography. Eventually, I'm sure they want to get into a science program, where they're doing photometry and spectra, this kind of thing. So, you can really make a huge difference through this organization and in this country because it's so badly needed.
Yes, and those people who want to give donations, our equipment, they can, as I said, personally contact me on Facebook. And we usually have these friends from United States who are visiting Kosovo every year for educational purposes. And they can ship it to them, and they can help bring it in Kosovo because of the shipping cost. And probably they can ship it to them, and when they come in Kosovo, we can get them. And
that's great.
The site also in Instagram and Facebook is Astronomy Club of Kosovo, because we have a lot of flags in equipments, and we really need all the equipments we can get in order to spread the beautiful meaning of astronomy to everyone. Because if we don't have the equipments, we cannot teach people about astronomy. Most of our school, they don't have equipments. This is why we're going to every school. We're teaching the teachers, the students, we're telling them how to practically use the telescopes, because it's different when you're talking, but it's different when you put your eye in the eyepiece and you see it yourself. You understand differently. And unfortunately, we don't have an astronomy department in Kosovo that we can study astronomy. The closest one is geography and physics, and the physics department has 2 telescopes and they're never using it. It just sits there, and we made so many times requests so we can use them. We can tell the students but I don't know why it's not so popular, but compared to 7 years ago, we made a huge impact, and difference is way much better now. People are just popping out like out of nowhere and writing us and asking us how to be part of the club. And it's so good that we have other organizations in Kosovo for astronomy that people can be close to them. That's
great. So Hal, I would be very happy to create an ambassador page for you on the Explore Alliance, and also we will start work on an affiliate organization page for you on Explorer Alliance as well for Astronomy Club of Kosovo. Hopefully that gives another portal to get support for your organization and for what you guys are doing in general. I really do appreciate you being on our show today. And thanks a lot. We've learned a lot already. And you've been on before, and you're welcome to come back on again. Anytime that you have updates, please let me know. Okay?
Sure. It's such an honor to be part of Explore Scientific. And we'll make sure that we will promote Explore Scientific and Explore Alliance in this part of the world, because it's not so popular, and we want to tell people out, not just in Kosovo, because we have so many contacts with other regional astronomy organizations, and we want to spread the voice and just tell that great things have small beginnings, and we can do it.
That's right. That's right. On this Friday, we are going to have another global star party. This will be a European edition, so it would happen during your nighttime. If you are interested in being on this Friday, then I will include you on the Global Star Party program.
Yeah, that's very good, because unfortunately all this COVID thing has messed a lot of things, and it's so nice that we can connect to each other through video calls and online and make us, it's very good initiative, Scott. And
Thank you.
Since it's very nice initiative, and I think we should also in Kosovo we do such online programming, since we are limited to COVID restriction in Kosovo, but
Yes.
it's getting better, and we cannot wait to get stronger together.
Yes. Yes. Great. Suhel, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you, Suhel.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So take care. Bye-bye. So I have, of course, I failed to mention that we've got Jerry and Tyler here with us, as we always do. What did you guys think about that program?
I like it. I mean, it's nice to know that other countries of the world are still trying to do what we do here in the States.
Right.
And we always got to help the little people. I mean, we're a big corporation, and if we can always lend a hand out, then why shouldn't we? Because we're
Right.
a small, niche little community, but we got to stay together.
That's right.
Because that's what makes us stronger.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, it's cool to see. I'm just curious about the older generation. I think a part of it is that, well, they've got a young country anyway, but I think we've talked about this before, where it looks like the older generations may not have had the opportunities at all. So that, like we had in the United States, we take for granted that we have a space program, right, that drives everything for us. But other countries don't have that to drive the older generation, although I'm sure everybody across the world was inspired by Apollo. It's not quite the same, regardless, it's not the same kind of thing.
Well, the United States has had many fortunate experiences, I mean, beginning with, around the Industrial Revolution here in the United States, where, some very important people involved in science, George Ellery Hale being one of them, really pushed and magnified the importance of astronomy and science in the United States. And they did, I love the story of George Ellery Hale because, his development of astrophysics and establishing, educational institutions and building 4 of the world's largest telescopes in the world, is just incredible. And it's just been a cascade of other programs like that. And we're about to start on another one, where, we have, of course, the International Space Station, but we're going back to the moon, and I have no doubt that we'll be there in 2024 as they've been planning. So I think that's going to be a very, very exciting year. It happens the same year as the total eclipse of the sun racing across the United States. So it's going to be a lot of fun here. And a lot of new people getting involved in astronomy and interest in space exploration. So, anyways, let's segue into learning what's going on with the forums. Tyler, what's happening out there?
I'm setting up a time with Jerry's probably gotten the email from our customer that's having issue with ASCOM. I'm going to set up a Skype or a Zoom meeting, walk through step by step how to set everything up through ASCOM. She's having a little bit of trouble getting it set up, so I'm going to give her the step-by-step procedure to help her do that. And I just got an email about ASIR Pro.
Are you going to log on to her computer and show her step-by-step, or how are you going to do it?
That would probably be the easiest if I can actually communicate with her and show her step-by-step. If I took over the actual control,
right,
then I can show her things to do. If she needs to troubleshoot, these are some steps that she can take to help find what she needs to get done.
Okay. Great. Anything else happening?
I got to call somebody about the ASIR Pro.
Ah!
It just came across. It's like, oh.
Yeah, that has become such a popular item there.
It has.
Yeah. So let's recognize some of the people that are watching us today. We have Tim Myers, Michael Whitaker, Richard Grace, Mike Wiesner. Mike said, in case you missed my reply yesterday, I'll be happy to work with Libby on smartphone astrophotography. I think she's going to be thrilled with that. Bergman Scooter is watching us. We've got lots of the same people talking here. Robert Wilmore was watching us. He's been on our show a couple of times. He says, hey, y'all, is an F10 telescope visually as bright as an F5? I know that F5 is half the exposure time for cameras compared to an F10, but what about visual impact? Thanks. Robert, that is going to have to do with the eyepiece that you're using, what magnification you're observing at. So, if you have a 10-inch telescope, whether it's F20 or F2, okay, it will depend upon the magnifying, your final magnification of how bright it's going to look to you. Notwithstanding that an F2 telescope would have a very large secondary, which would in fact reduce some of the light gathering part of that, because you're cutting out a big chunk, with an obstruction that would be very large. But let's say that somehow you were able to keep the obstructions the same size, or they were two different refractors and there was no obstruction, okay? Basically, if you're at 100 magnification, whether it's F2 or F20, it's going to look just as bright to you, okay? Because that is a function of aperture on the telescope. But it's true that an F2 telescope can go wide field very easily, and an F20 telescope is going to go higher magnification very easily, because inherently, an F20 telescope is much more, focal length than an F2.
What I would add, Scott, that in terms of brightness, it's an extended object that's brighter, because you're spreading the light. It's a continuous object, not like a star. Stars always look the same brightness regardless of the
Right, so if
focal ratio.
If the photons falling into the telescope are like glow-in-the-dark grains of sand, okay, and if they're spread out over a large area just because of large magnification, it just doesn't look as bright, right? But you you scoop up all that glow-in-the-dark sand into a smaller image. Wow, now it starts to look a lot brighter to you.
That's right. That's an extended object. You're getting all those photons in a smaller area, and it looks brighter. So that's what but stars are point sources. Stars are different. They're not extended objects, so they don't look any different.
Yep, that's true. Lots of people chimed in today about, I was on Dan Higgins's program, astroworld.tv. So that was a lot of fun with those guys, it was really interesting to hear their take on what astronomy does for people, the good that it does for people. letting people understand that their problems aren't the biggest things in their lives,
Kind of locked up there for a second, Scott. I don't know if
Did
that
I
happened.
lock up?
It seemed to me I saw you lock up for about 5
It's
seconds.
because I went like this. Yeah, see? No, what I was saying is that this group of guys, they just really, get how good astronomy and, amateur astronomy is for the average person, giving them a new perspective or a different perspective on their view of their life, their world, and that their world is something much larger than what's going on in their state or their politics or their, whatever. But that we are on this little blue planet flying through space, and that was again, echoed by Suhel, talking about the problems that they are solving with a ethnic divide in Kosovo, so that healing is being accelerated through astronomy outreach, which is totally cool, so and it should be done much more all over the world. Kanan Lucas, hello Scott, nice to see you again and all the ES team. Thank you, Kanan. We're all doing fine here. And
it's my network connection that's going away. It's not yours.
Is it?
Yeah, I just had to reset it.
Oh. You're the one that froze up, right?
Yeah, I'm the one that froze, but you look like you froze up, so.
Mr. Big Internet Guru, his stuff froze up.
I'm on expensive Comcast internet.
You are.
Wi-Fi, 100 megabit.
Jerry, you got to check your Wi-Fi interference. I think you got too much stuff going on.
That's
or
right.
close some windows.
Yeah, it was nice. It was also nice to see Pranvera's early work with the Astronomy Club of Kosovo. She's gone on to do a lot more work with Astronomy Outreach of Kosovo, but they are connected. See Fox 0011's on, great. And
Dave Ing on? Probably not.
I don't see Dave Ing. Not yet. Book Davies is on. Jim Norwood's on. Ron Delvo's on. Michael Whitaker, I might have already mentioned. Cesar Brolo. Me, the guy of the cell phone in the telescope. Ollie Crabtree. He says, hey, I'm 14, so don't have much money because I can't get a job. Do you have any recommendations for a cheap scope that is still okay? You know what I would do, Ollie, is I would look for a used telescope. You will find that you can get an incredible deal on it. Being that you're young and very, very interested, heck, you might get somebody that would just give you the telescopes just to get you started. It happens a lot.
I was going to say our astronomy club has a loaner program that we have, and we pretty well maintain telescopes. You might want to locate a local astronomy club and see if they loan out equipment to try out and see what you like.
That's right. Join an astronomy club, Ollie. The other thing you can check into is your local library. Some public libraries have a telescope lending program, which you can check out. So, let's see.
Oh, Scott, I got a better idea.
What's that?
Ollie, send me your information. I'm going to buy you one. I'll buy you an Explorer First Light refractor with an Alt-Az Go-To mount. Just send me your information and I'll ship it to you as well.
Wow, that's a deal. Ollie, that's great. And Dave Ing is watching. He says, I've been under the weather, but I'm listening in.
Send me one too.
So
I wanted to tell Dave I got his book coming finally. It's in the mail to me, so I'll sign it and send it out to him. We missed it. He won it in August, I think, at one of the early meetings or one of the early giveaways we did, and I misplaced it in my list of stuff to do.
Well, you've got I think you just recently got some books, right? So
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Dave says thank you. So, yeah, and Ollie says, whoa. And wow. That's very generous of you, Tyler. That's great.
You know, I can't, it's not, I'm not saying it's not fair, but the guy's trying. He's reaching out, and, you know, I'm feeling generous today. And
Yeah. Well, Jim Norwood says you just earned some karma points. Okay, so there you go.
so hopefully they email me. I mean, if they live in Kosovo, it is what it is. I'll just deal with it.
So it's Tyler@explorescientific.com. Okay. Richard Gray says he's building a 32 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery and watching the show. Dude, you know, Richard Grace is going to have like this giant power plant at one point.
His hair is going to start glowing.
Light up, you know, light up LA with it, you know, no problem. So he showed me one time it looked like this really long suitcase, maybe like, you know, one of these waterproof cases, and he flipped it open. It had monitors in there. It was lined with batteries, you know. He could recharge his electric car with it, I think. So it's really cool. If you need power and you're doing an astronomy expedition, you need to take Richard Grace with you.
Yeah, because he'll just illuminate everything.
That's right. Mm-hmm. So anyhow, well, Jerry, so what's been going on with you and the
You got a minute.
community? What's that?
He's got a minute to do it.
Yeah, I got a minute. I've been checking in with the community. Nothing real big is going on, like Tyler said. I mainly keep track of every once in a while I'll get on cloudy nights and see and make a comment or two. There's been a couple of customers asking questions. Nothing, just run of the mill questions about our equipment. Nothing, no problems or anything really.
Yeah.
They're interested in there's still a lot of chatter. If you go on cloudy nights, if you've got the XS2 GT, the original traditional hand controller system,
Yeah.
a lot of activity. I mean, there's a lot of information on cloudy nights about that mount system. Not all of it's good, of course. You know, cloudy nights, you don't ever hear anything from anybody on cloudy nights unless something's wrong. So that's typically what you do.
Well, that's not true. I see some good things on there.
Sometimes.
You send me good things all the time, you know?
Yeah, but
So-
that's
well,
a
we got
diamond in the
great
rough.
customers. We got great customers that go out and speak good of us on cloudy nights to
Yeah, that's
influence
nice.
opinions.
Right. Well, everybody's working through their hobby and trying to figure out how to connect this to that and building their systems, you know? So sometimes people run into a snag. It gets frustrating when that happens. So, and, you know,
Yeah, it's because people have a passion and they're excited about getting to look at the stars, and they don't want this equipment to stand in their way, really.
right. They want the equipment to disappear like we talk about. So, right. So, so this weekend, we've got a couple of things going on. This Friday, Gary Palmer and I will conduct the European edition of the Global Star Party. So that's going to start at 4 o'clock tomorrow. Okay, so we won't have this show tomorrow. We'll be on with the European Global Star Party. They'll probably run from like 4 o'clock to 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And then tomorrow, I don't know the exact right times right now in my head, but Simon Tang is going to be running a show that he broadcasts on YouTube, and I'll be a guest on that show as well. So from what I understand, that's also going to have Adam Block. So you can learn more about that if you go to telescopes.net and look at their online shows with Woodland Hills Camera and Telescope. So so I think that's all I have to share today. Is there anything else, guys? Nope.
No, I think that's it.
Nope.
We'll just
Yeah,
continue to
Tyler's
plug
giving
it.
away telescopes.
Again, whoa,
Yeah, anybody that wants a free telescope, just send
whoa,
Tyler an email.
whoa.
Yeah.
He doesn't
name
care
is
where
not
you are
Scott
in the
Roberts.
world. Okay.
My name is not Scott Roberts here.
Do you have Scott's credit card, Tyler?
Now
I may have to take it. Just helping the 14-year-old
Larry says,
kid.
I won one of the question door prizes the other night and picked and got an hour of AP training with Gary Palmer. So if you're watching
Excellent.
Gary, I'm looking forward to it. Let's see. While there's clouds, this is where we be.
No,
That should be one of the door prizes, is make a clear night, okay?
Let me
Clear
know how that
skies,
works.
right?
Yeah, you all expenses paid trip to a clear sky spot.
That's
It's
right. Yeah, we
$10,000
fly your
ride.
telescope out to wherever it is, that's
Yep.
right. Russia, we don't care, all right?
I know. I do see a
Sending you.
lot of people asking for my email to help do the donations. I'm not. You don't have to if you don't want to. I'm doing this out of my own free, just because I feel bad for the kid. It's not fair. I was in his shoes. I didn't have the money, and I'm just doing
Oh,
it
it's
because
awesome.
So
It's
if you-
awesome, Tyler. I'm
it's
not-
my email is tyler@explorescientific.com.
Yeah, and we're not really teasing you, Tyler. I think it's great what you're
I
doing.
expect it from y'all though.
You do deserve it, but
Exactly.
Well,
Just
he can
remember,
dish.
I'm
He can,
I'm bigger
he can
than me.
dish it as well as he takes it. So
Oh, yes, he does. All day long. The pressure that we get from Tyler all day long, so that's right.
Big massive pressure.
Yeah, that's right. No, Tyler's awesome. So, anyways, CFox 0011. I'll end it with this. Tyler's the man, so there you go.
Just a guy helping out other people.
Yep, that's right. All right, people, thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in. Mike Wiesner, door prize, all expense paid trip to next year's David H. Levy, Arizona Dark Sky Star Party.
I'm game.
That might be a good deal. We'll have to see if we can make that happen. All right, thanks. Thank you, Norm. Good show, guys, as usual. Thank you so much, everybody. And I think that is just about it. So thanks again. And as Jack Horkheimer always said, keep looking up. And we will see you very, very soon. We'll see you tomorrow. If I can just figure out how to get out of this this hole that I'm in here.